Have you ever felt that knot in your stomach when you hear something about racial injustice on the news, and you wonder, how on earth do I explain this to my child? Maybe you've thought about it, but you're afraid you'll say the wrong thing. Or maybe you just don't know where to start. I know I have. And for many of us, the idea of talking about race with our kids feels awkward. But what if I told you that avoiding the conversation is actually doing more harm than good? Today, we're going to give you a clear, step-by-step guide to having these important conversations, all based on expert advice from pediatric psychiatrists at the Mayo Clinic. You'll leave this video with the clarity and confidence to start today. Let's dive into this video now. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Three Koi Fishes channel. We're a team of parents with over 80 years of combined experience. We're here to give you the clarity and confidence you need to build a parenting strategy that helps your toddler thrive in life, all by sharing the insights and research that let you avoid common pitfalls. Today's topic is something that I know has been on a lot of your minds: how to talk to our kids about race and racial bias. Now, I was recently reading a fantastic and incredibly important article from the Mayo Clinic titled "Overcoming Racial Bias: Acknowledge It and Talk with Children." I'll put a link to it in the description below so you can read the full text. This article speaks directly to a statement from the American Academy of Pediatrics, which highlights how vicarious racism, that's secondhand racism witnessed through the media, conversations, or news, harms a child's health. So, let's explore the core advice from the experts themselves, specifically Dr. Paul Corkin and Dr. Jody Begia, both pediatric psychiatrists at the Mayo Clinic. The first and most critical point the article makes is this: silence is its own message. As parents, we might think we're protecting our kids by not talking about difficult topics. But Dr. Begia explains that avoiding conversations about race can cause feelings of uncertainty in children. They see and feel the tension from the news and in our own emotions, and when we say nothing, they're left to process it all on their own. Think about it. If they see something on TV or hear a comment at the park and we pretend it didn't happen, we're essentially telling them that this topic is scary, taboo, or not important. That's a message we definitely don't want to send. So, the first step is simply to start talking. It's not a single, one-time conversation, but a series of many. Now, before you can talk to your kids, you need to look inward. The next key point is to reflect on your own biases. This is a tough one for a lot of us. We all like to think we're fair and unbiased. But Dr. Begia says that racial bias is often unconscious, stemming from our own upbringing and experiences. If we don't recognize our own biases, whether they're implicit or explicit, we can unintentionally pass them on to our children. This is a call for self-reflection. Ask yourself, what are my own unconscious biases? How do I react when I see someone differ from me? What did I learn about race when I was a child? This self-awareness is the first step to becoming a better role model. Speaking of role models, Dr. Paul Corkin says something that really hit home for me. He says, parents and caregivers often underestimate how important their own behaviors and communications with others are versus direct communication with a child. This means that how we interact with people of different races matters more than any lecture we could give. They're always watching. Please hit the like button if you've ever realized your child was copying something you said or did without you even noticing. The article also addresses a common question: when do we start? The answer might surprise you. Dr. Begia says that children can understand racial differences from a very young age, as early as 2 to 4 years old. You don't need to get into a detailed history of social injustice with a 3-year-old. You just need to acknowledge that color is real and beautiful. For example, instead of saying, "we don't see color," you can say, "people have all kinds of different skin colors, just like there are different colors of flowers." Isn't that beautiful? Reading books together about racial equality and anti-racism is one of the easiest ways to start. I'll put some links to great books in the description below. This helps your child understand that differences are not something to be ignored. They are to be celebrated. Now, let's talk about the big question the article addresses. How is the conversation different for white children versus black or brown children? This is an important distinction, and the Mayo Clinic provides some excellent, specific guidance. For white children, the conversation should focus on education and inclusivity. It's about teaching them about different races and communities from a very young age. It helps to have friends and role models of different races because this teaches them to be inclusive without hesitation. The goal is to help them value diversity in the world around them. For children of color, the focus is different. The article emphasizes helping them with their self-esteem and self-confidence. It's about talking to them about their positive characteristics and the value of their own diversity. This can be done by showing them positive role models in the media or in real life, people who look like them and are thriving. This helps to combat the negative effects of vicarious racism and shows them their inherent value. This is so important because, as Dr. Begia points out, seeing racial violence can be very traumatic for a child of color. They are seeing someone harmed simply for looking like them, and that can lead to fear and stress. Validating those feelings by talking about them is key to helping them process and manage their emotions. Now, a lot of parents also wonder, what if my child hears a friend say something racially biased? The article has some clear advice here, and it's something we should all teach our kids. The message is simple. It is everyone's responsibility to work together to dismantle racial bias. Children should be taught to speak out. This is very similar to teaching a child to stand up to a bully. They need to understand that racially biased statements should not be tolerated. The experts at the Mayo Clinic say that if children are bullied related to their race, they should report it to adults at home and at school. And if they see others being targeted, they should not remain silent. This teaches them to be a champion for fairness and equality. So, let's quickly summarize the key takeaways from our deep dive into the Mayo Clinic article. 1. Talk about it. Silence is not an option. Start talking about race with your kids as early as age 2 to 4. 2. Acknowledge bias. Look inward and reflect on your own unconscious biases first. 3. Role model. Your actions and behaviors matter more than your words. 4. Differentiate the conversation. For white children, focus on inclusivity and education. For children of color, focus on self-esteem and positive representation. 5. Stand up. Teach your children to stand up for themselves and others when they see racial bias. This isn't a one-and-done conversation. It's a journey of learning, listening, and growing alongside your child. By taking these steps, you're not only helping them navigate a complex world, but also building their emotional resilience and a foundation of empathy that will serve them for a lifetime. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps us reach more parents like you. Consider subscribing to the channel to help promote it and ensure you don't miss our next video. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.